is the most rewarding journey. My PMP journey has been the most rewarding journey till now. In fact, it took almost 2 years. I have appeared for the exam twice. In fact, the first time I didn't clear it, and the second time I did. And even after I give the exam, the principles are still in my mind, and it it's of use. Honestly, the certification is of great use because you have a very scientific approach to planning. You know how to calculate things, and of course, you don't apply everything in your daily life, but it is handy. It is really handy. So that's a gist of how my PMP journey has been.
Correct. So this answers the question some students have, that forget about the value of PMP in terms of salary increase, and tell us that PMP is useful. Tell us that we can use it in our daily life. So I think what you said is an answer to this question, that yes, it certainly has a significance in our daily life. That's good. That's good. That's good. So, Rashmi, tell us further about, as you said that you appeared in the exam 2 times. Okay, so this was challenging, and how you kept yourself motivated, and what did not work in the first time, and what worked in the second time? How did you, change the strategy of your learning and studies, and what was successful? What made you successful in the second attempt?
Okay. So if you see I started with the 35 hours PDU. Of course, I trained under you. We were in regional institute then, so in Abu Dhabi. So that time, that 35 hours was good enough to understand what is the content of the PMBOK and how these content is related. But something I identified during my whole study period is until you absorb the whole processes, you understand why it is there, you are still not there. So in my first attempt, when I went, I read the PMBOK, I did some practice. I thought I understand the logical sequence and I went there. And of course, out of that time, I was in the old format. So out of all the 5 groups, I think I passed only in 2. Okay. So, and then I was like, that time after the 35 hours PDU, what I took, I had a huge gap, like 3 to 4 months. And then I prepared for 1 month and I gave my exam. And that's when I understood, okay, it looks simple, but it is something different. I'm not yet, though I understand what's in the book, it's not yet, in me. And of course, there was then a couple of months where I didn't even touch the book because I was not sure. It's like a thick book. If you thought you understood it and then you didn't pass, it's kind of demotivating. But
Correct.
then, honestly, PMP then announced that they're going to change the exam whole, the way it is given and all. And COVID also happened. I had some time in my hand and I didn't want to re-study for the exam. So what I did is I just made a small focus group with some of my interested friends. And once I started studying, of course, I needed extra motivation. So I contacted you back, if you remember, and you
Correct.
helped me
Correct.
with a lot of questions, in fact. Okay. And that actually gave me the push to understand it better because this time my approach was not to study the book, okay, which is humanly not possible, but actually just to understand why it is written like that in the PMBOK. And I was just like very focused on the process groups, like how they are related. After one step, what is the next? Why should I do it? And the questions really helped me reinforce it. So something I learned is PMBOK sometimes, depending on your personality, it can get very dry for you. You might not feel motivated to study it further. That time, always take help, like have some friend or something with whom you can really discuss and then solve the questions. And of course, have a guide. So, if something like there are some boring parts of PMBOK, if you're not interested in it, of course, your guide can help you. That
Correct.
conversation really helps you absorb it. And when I went, so that preparation was 2 months actually for me. In December, I gave. and I aced it. I was, in fact, above target in all the 5 groups. So that
Wow.
was my journey.
Wow, wow, great, great. Indeed, inspiring, and what a accomplishment that you were above target in all the domains. So kudos and a big round of applause for you. Yeah, Rashmi, one more thing. So when you formed the focus group, and when you really was in a kind of a pressure that exam is changing, so how much time you gave it, like 1 month or 2 months? How much time you gave it to really, dedicatedly uh, achieve it? How much time it was? 1 month, 2 month?
2 solid months of preparation. So how it started is, definitely I started with some of your classes again, if you remember,
Correct.
where we went through some topics which were tough for me. And that really helped me kickstart the sessions with the focus group, the friends who were interested to explore PMP, that's all. So,
Yeah.
we started learning each chapter, and then it's like discussions and solving. After that, towards the last 2 weeks, I was really focused in just solving the questions over and over again. And, it started really becoming interesting because it was more like a pastime. Just open it. Okay, why is this happening, and solve it. So that's how I took it, and that really helped.
Great. How did you like the recommendation when we solved the questions, and when I said that write your lessons learned, if there is a mistake or any questions you attempted wrongly, then try to identify what was the concept that you didn't knew or understood before, and at least write a few lines that what you learned in this in attempting in this question, and create your own Excel file of lessons learned register. So was it really helpful?
Yes, definitely it was helpful. I had a mix of Excel and just papers. Towards the end of the exam, I was extremely manual with a lot of papers in my hand. And when it helped me was in the last 5 days. Okay, definitely I couldn't go through everything because I think we together solved nearly 1,500 plus questions, okay, in the set. But I at least know in each group which were my very weakest points, which I really didn't get. And I kept on, I did purchase a simulation long back, okay, a year and a half back. So thank God I still had it valid. So then I started giving those exams also. So it was a bit helpful for me. So I had a combination, and definitely those lessons, each group, at least there were 5 things I kept on repeating, where I got the mistake, even if the question changed, even if the whole syllabus changed, that particular process was wrong for me. So I could really identify that.
Correct, correct. So, what I take away from here, that your understanding of the process, like you try to understand the process and linkages between the processes. So, if the process is defined scope, so you went to the definition and try to understand what is defined scope and how it is related to the subsequent processes. Correct. This is what you want to
Yes,
tell. Yeah. So it's
yes,
not important to just memorize what the process name is, but the definition of process in which what you do as a project manager in this process. That's what you mean, right?
correct.
Hmm.
Yes.
That's good. That's good. Tell us about your exam venue. As I remember, you appeared in the exam from your home because it was a COVID time as well. So, share
Yes.
with us how was your experience by giving exam at home? Yeah.
Well, it was very nice. Honestly, it was comfortable. I did have a hiccup. Okay. If you remember, even in my second attempt, first time when I gave the exam, I think I had some program running in the laptop which I had, which was not allowing the invigilator to access my camera because the camera needs to be open. Okay. So then that exam got cancelled. And after 7 days, I got a new date. So PMI is extremely responsive on their chat. So if at all your exam had a technical issue, you can always go to them and they will reschedule it for you. And with that, the second one was smooth. So as such, there are a few things you have to follow if you want to give the exam at home. One is definitely your Wi-Fi. Second is definitely when you register for the exam, they will give you a sample like a software or something where you can see whether it's running, whether your camera is working, whether your mic is working. So that is already given to you. You have to install the Pearson's application to take that exam. Okay. And that time you can check all this. And it's better if you have a closed room in your house because they wouldn't allow anybody to enter. So if there is a person behind you, if the door opens, definitely the invigilator has the authority to cancel your exam. As such, food, nothing is allowed. What you can take is water, okay, and try to keep the whole background, your desk, everything clean, okay. And they mostly, when I was writing my exam, when I was calculating or something, when I used to go down, I say, get this message, please come back into the camera frame. Okay, so that's another thing, so they really look at you. That's something I understood. And another good part is, if you see in the old format when we were giving in test center, you have the choice to take the break whenever you want. But however, here it's a half-time break. So when the break comes, you can definitely go out, get some water and all, and come back. But however, all the questions which you solved before that, you wouldn't be able to access it. So that's how the home test is a bit different in that format. And but as such, it is like very good if you can find a quiet day. I give mine in the afternoon because that's the only slot I got. And I remember staying till night, okay, for the exam. So it started in the late afternoon, but it was good. It was really rewarding, and it was smooth.
Yeah. We will come to the key takeaways in the end as well. So just I want to recap that what you said a while ago, that if you have taken 35 hours course, then appear in the exam like within 1 month of taking the 35 hours, because you took 4 months and I think it didn't work for you, right? To delay it.
Yeah, it didn't work for me.
Yeah. So the key takeaway is that as soon as you finish your 35 hours, find a focus group, do some practice questions together, and try to take a date 1 month after and then cross it. Yeah. Then appear
Yes.
it. Yes.
In fact, in summary, my earlier approach was to learn what's in the book. Something I understood is we shouldn't focus too much on that. When we start solving questions, you automatically absorb what they mean. So that's something, that's a technique I really
Yeah.
identified it way later.
Yeah. If you recall, we call it test-driven preparation, and we said that let's attempt some tests and let's see what we don't know in this theory, and then try to know those concepts.
Correct.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool strategy that you worked out, and it really helped, and it can help others also. That in order to reinforce such a big theory, you don't know what you don't know. So first identify what you don't know through those questions. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Okay, so I would say, yeah. What are your final thoughts? Okay, so if Rashmi has done it, anyone else can also go for it, and he can, just give us some last push, tell us some final thoughts.
Okay, so my final thoughts on PMP is this. Definitely, it's worth it. And if you want to get a certification, there are only few simple steps. One is just be in the 35 hours class. You might understand only 20 to 30% if you are not from a traditional project background. Okay, but that's okay. And the second is, don't try to absorb the book. Sometimes it might not help you. Just understand the structure, just understand the content, and then straight away go to solve questions. that will actually keep you interested. It won't bore you, and you will learn also. So, and then just give the exam. That's it. It's as simple as that if you go that way, rather than trying to understand the theory behind it, and then, study line by line. That doesn't work for PMP.
Wow, wow. So yeah, this is a great piece of advice, and I would like viewers to just concentrate on Rashmi. What are her closing lines? Nothing to add, and wish you good luck in your future endeavors. And Rashmi has a one responsibility that she has to take some of you and then uh, continue to support some of you to get this PMP certification. So Rashmi, are you up for this challenge?
Sure. In fact, it's all about giving back to the community, and it's good to help others to figure out how to get that certification.
Yes, great, great. Thumbs up. And with this, we will be closing this session. And thank you very much, Rashmi, for joining us. And it was nice talking with you, and you shared with us a lot of valuable tips. I think you gave us some motivation. You had a lot of challenging experience, and those are the lessons that we learned today. And we are thankful for you for that. And until next time, see you again. Okay. Bye
See
bye.
you
Have a
again.
great day.
Bye bye.